Welcome to this powerful journey of transformation and growth. You are listening to How to Believe in Yourself and Achieve Anything audiobook. This audiobook is written and published by ReadFlow Audiobooks, created to help you unlock your inner confidence, strengthen your mindset, and discover the unstoppable power that comes when you truly believe in yourself. No matter where you are starting from, this is your time to rise, to trust your abilities, and to take bold steps toward the life you deserve. So get comfortable, open your mind, and let's begin. Chapter 1. The Foundation of Self-Belief. Belief is the invisible force that shapes every visible outcome in your life. It's the root from which all action grows, the inner compass that decides whether you push forward or give up. Without belief, even the most talented person stalls. With belief, even the most ordinary person achieves extraordinary things. But here's the problem. Most people have been conditioned to doubt themselves. From childhood, subtle messages creep in. Teachers telling you to be realistic, peers mocking your dreams, family members reminding you of what you can't do. Over time, these voices dig trenches in your mind, making you question your worth and ability. Before long, self-doubt feels natural. Yet here's the truth you must absorb. Belief in yourself is not something you're born with. It's something you build. Just like a muscle, it grows stronger with you. Every decision, every small act of courage, every moment you stand tall against fear, is a brick in the structure of your belief system. And that system, once fortified, becomes unshakable. This chapter is about constructing that foundation. We're going to strip away the false stories you've been told, replace them with empowering truths, and then build practices that allow you to carry unshakable belief into every corner of your life. The power of belief in shaping reality. Consider this. Every invention, every business, every movement that changed the world began with someone believing in an idea before others could see it. The Wright brothers believed humans could fly when the world mocked them. Oprah Winfrey believed she had a voice worth sharing, despite being told she wasn't fit for television. Nelson Mandela believed in freedom and equality even during decades of imprisonment. Belief does not guarantee immediate success, but without it, success is impossible. When you believe, your mind searches for solutions, your body aligns with energy, you persist through obstacles that would normally crush you. But when you doubt, even the smallest setback looks like a wall, and you retreat. This is why building belief is not nice to have. It's survival for your dreams. 2. Recognizing the belief killers. Before we build self-belief, we must clear out what destroys it. 3 main forces kill belief. Negative self-talk. That inner critic telling you you're not good enough. Comparison. Measuring your beginning against someone else's middle or end. Past failures. Carrying yesterday's mistakes into today's opportunity. If you don't actively fight these, they'll anchor you down. Imagine trying to climb a mountain with a backpack full of rocks. That's what it's like to pursue goals without addressing these belief killers. Action step. Take a sheet of paper and write down your 3 most common self-doubting thoughts. Maybe it's I'm not smart enough, or I always fail. Then directly challenge each one with evidence. For example, if you think, I'm not disciplined, write down times when you stuck to a plan, even small ones, like sticking with a workout for 2 weeks or finishing a book. This rewires your brain to see truth instead of lies. Identity is the root of belief. You cannot consistently act in ways that conflict with how you see yourself. If deep down you identify as a procrastinator, no productivity hack will stick. If you identify as unlucky, every setback feels like proof. Belief, therefore, must be rooted in identity. You must decide, who am I becoming? Identity statements are powerful. Try saying out loud, I am a disciplined person. I am worthy of success. I am worthy of success. I am capable of solving problems. At first, your mind will resist. It feels fake because your actions haven't caught up yet. But remember, belief comes before evidence. Identity is the soil, habits are the seeds, and results are the harvest. If you only wait for results to believe, you'll never start planting. Action step. Write 1 identity statement you want to live by. Repeat it every morning. But don't stop there. Take 1 small action daily that aligns with it. If your statement is I am confident, then practice speaking up once in a conversation, even if your voice shakes. Over time, action aligns with identity, and belief becomes real. 4. Micro wins build macro belief. One reason people fail to believe in themselves is they set massive goals and then feel crushed when they don't see progress fast. But belief is not built in giant leaps. It's built in consistent steps. Think of a video game. At first you don't start at the final boss. You start with level 1. Each small win builds confidence for the next. In life, your levels are the micro wins. Finishing that workout, completing a chapter of a book, speaking up in a meeting, waking up when your alarm rings instead of hitting snooze. Each time you win a small battle, your brain says, maybe I can do this. That voice of doubt shrinks, and soon those small wins compound into unstoppable momentum. Action step. Pick one simple winnable habit and commit to it daily for 30 days. Something so small you cannot fail, like writing 3 sentences every morning, or doing 10 push-ups, or drinking water first thing after waking up. Don't underestimate it. Consistency in small wins is rocket fuel for belief. 5. Facing fear directly. Fear is belief's twin enemy. Every time you want to step forward, fear whispers, what if you fail? What if people laugh? What if you're not enough? But here's the secret. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to act despite it. Every time you face fear, even in small doses, you build belief in your ability to handle life. Practical exercise. Make a fear. Write down 5 small things you've been avoiding because of discomfort. Maybe it's calling someone you've put off, sharing your opinion, or trying something new. This week pick one and do it. Notice this. The moment after you act, the fear shrinks and your belief grows. Reprogramming the subconscious mind. Most of your beliefs run on autopilot, shaped by years of conditioning. To rebuild them, you must deliberately reprogram your subconscious. Here are 3 proven tools. Say, if you're at 3 proven tools, not vague daydreams, but vivid, detailed scenes. Feel it as real. Your brain can't distinguish between imagination and experience. It starts wiring your nervous system for success. Affirmations. Repeating identity-based statements until your subconscious accepts them. Consistency is key. Environment. Surround yourself with people, books, and content that reinforce belief. If your circle doubts you, your subconscious absorbs that. If your circle pushes you higher, belief becomes natural. 7. Shifting from outcome to process. A huge mistake people make is tying belief only to outcomes. Like, I'll believe in myself when I make 6 figures, or when I lose 20 pounds. This creates a trap. Every time you fall short, belief crumbles. Instead, anchor belief to the process. Say, I believe in myself because I show up daily, because I keep going even when it's hard, because I choose growth over comfort. When belief is rooted in process, failure stops being evidence against you. It becomes evidence of learning. You no longer crumble when you stumble, because stumbling is part of moving forward. 8. Case study. The Phoenix mindset. Think of people who rise from nothing. A single mother who builds a business from scratch. An immigrant who arrives with no money but builds a career. An athlete who fails repeatedly before becoming a champion. What do they have in common? Not perfect circumstances, not luck, but belief. A refusal to see themselves as powerless. They adopted the Phoenix mindset. No matter how many times they fell, they rose stronger. That same mindset is available to you right now. Closing of Chapter 1. Self-belief is not a luxury. It's a necessity. Without it, you stay trapped in hesitation, constantly asking for permission to live your own life. With it, you create momentum, courage, and the ability to turn any circumstance into growth. Your first step is to stop waiting for proof. Decide today to believe before you see. Anchor that belief in identity. Fuel it with micro wins. Protect it from doubt and reprogram it daily. This is your foundation, and once it's set, you can build anything on top of it. Chapter 2. Identity and Perseverance. The unbreakable core of self-belief. Perseverance is often praised as the secret ingredient to success. People say, just don't quit, as if raw endurance is enough. But here's the reality. Perseverance is not merely about grinding through difficulty. It is about who you believe yourself to be. Think of it this way. 2 people face the same obstacle. One sees themselves as a victim. Why does this always happen to me? I'm not cut out for this. They quit quickly. The other sees themselves as resilient. This is hard, but I'm someone who finds a way. They push through. The difference? Identity. When you deeply believe in your own identity as someone who doesn't give up, perseverance becomes automatic. You don't need to convince yourself every time. You act in line with who you already know you are. That's why this chapter is all about connecting self-belief to identity and using it to build unstoppable perseverance. The identity-perseverance link. Your actions flow out of your identity. If you see yourself as a healthy person, skipping the gym feels wrong, not working out. If you see yourself as a disciplined learner, studying daily feels natural. The same is true for perseverance. If your core identity is I'm someone who overcomes, you will persist through setbacks. If your identity is I'm someone who quits when it gets hard, then quitting is inevitable. Action step. Write down this phrase and complete it. I am the kind of person. Finish it with what you want to embody. For example, I am the kind of person who finishes what I start. I am the kind of person who finds a way no matter how long it takes. I am the kind of person who grows stronger through struggle. Say it daily until it feels like your default reality. 2. The enemy of perseverance. Conditional identity. One of the biggest traps people fall into is attaching identity to outcomes instead of effort. They say things like, if I succeed, I'll believe I'm strong. If I win, then I'll see myself as capable. This is dangerous because the moment they fail, their whole identity collapses. They begin to think, if I lost, maybe I'm not capable after all. To build lifelong perseverance, you must anchor your identity in process, not results. Believe in who you are because of how you show up, not only because of what you achieve. This way, failure is not a threat to your identity. It becomes a step in the process. The role of self-belief in long-term struggle. Let's be honest. Perseverance is not glamorous. It's not one motivational burst. It's hundreds of days of showing up when you don't feel like it. It's facing rejection, boredom, and repetition. Without self-belief, these grind you down. Doubt creeps in. Why am I even doing this? Maybe I'm not cut out for it. But when belief fuels your perseverance, you reframe those struggles. Rejection becomes feedback. Boredom becomes proof of discipline. Repetition becomes mastery and progress. You keep going, not because the road is easy, but because your belief in yourself assures you that the destination is worth it. Identity shifts that fuel perseverance. Here are 3 key identity shifts to adopt. From fragile to anti-fragile. Instead of breaking under pressure, you grow from it. You see challenges as workouts for your character. Example statement. I grow stronger the more resistance I face. From quitting to finishing. Train yourself to see quitting as unnatural and finishing as your default. Even if you fail, finish the attempt. Example statement. I am a finish. From victim to creator. Stop seeing life as something that happens to you, and instead as something you create. This shifts your energy from helplessness to empowerment. Example statement. I am in charge of how I respond. Always. Micro-perseverance builds macro-perseverance. Perseverance isn't built in one big test. It's built daily, in small moments where you could quit, but don't. When you keep writing for 5 more minutes, even though you want to stop. When you push through the last set at the gym. When you return to your project even after a day of procrastination. Each small moment is like a vote for your identity. The more votes you cast, the stronger your perseverance becomes. Action step. Choose one daily activity where you often give up early. Commit to going just a little further every time. Over weeks, your brain learns. I don't quit easily. 6. The role of stories in perseverance. Humans are story-driven creatures. The story you tell yourself about who you are will determine how you act when things get tough. If your story is I've always been a quitter, you'll live it out. If your story is I'm the underdog who always finds a way, then perseverance is your default. Reframe your personal narrative. Even if you've quit in the past, reframe it. Those experiences taught me how painful quitting is. That's why now I finish. 7. Practical exercise. Building your perseverance script. Step 1. Write down a moment when you wanted to quit but didn't, and you gained something from it. Step 2. Write how that proves you are capable of pushing through. Step 3. Condense it into a statement. I know I can persevere because I already did when. Keep this statement visible on your phone background, your wall, your journal. The compound effect of perseverance. Belief and perseverance are like compound interest. At first, progress seems tiny. You put in effort daily, but the results are invisible. Most people quit here. But if you persevere, the compounding kicks in. Skills sharpen, opportunities align, momentum builds. What once looked impossible suddenly feels natural. This is why perseverance must be rooted in identity. If you only rely on motivation, you'll give up before compounding happens. But if perseverance is part of who you are, you'll keep going long enough to see the payoff. 6. 9. Case study. Thomas Edison and the power of identity. Thomas Edison famously tested thousands of ways before inventing the light bulb. If his identity had been failure means I'm not good enough, he would have quit after a few attempts. Instead, his identity was I am an inventor. My job is to keep experimenting until it works. Because of that identity, every failure was simply data, not That's perseverance powered by identity, and that's what you must adopt. Midday check-in. When fatigue hits, ask yourself, what would someone who never quits do right now? Then do it. Evening reflection. Write one line in your journal. Today I persevered when. This reinforces your identity with evidence daily. Closing of chapter 2. Self-belief is the spark. Identity is the fuel. Perseverance is the engine. Together, they create unstoppable forward motion. Understand this deeply. Perseverance is not about willpower alone. It's about deciding who you are. And once you know who you are, quitting feels impossible. Every time you choose to persevere, you cast a vote for your identity. Every time you finish what you start, you reinforce belief. Over time, this becomes unshakable. You are not just someone who you are someone who persists. You are someone who finishes. You are someone who grows stronger with every obstacle. And with that identity, there is nothing you cannot achieve. Chapter 3. Embracing struggle. Turning obstacles into fuel for growth. There's a hard truth about life that few want to admit. You cannot avoid struggle. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, life will throw challenges at you. Sometimes small irritations, other times storms that shake the foundation of your world. But here's the difference between those who thrive and those who merely survive. Successful people don't just endure struggle, they embrace it. They don't see obstacles as interruptions. They see them as part of the path. They don't just fight against difficulty, they use it as fuel to grow. This chapter is about reshaping your relationship with struggle, so that instead of resisting it, you learn to harness it. Because once you do, obstacles stop being roadblocks and start becoming stepping stones. The illusion of the easy life. Many people waste years chasing the fantasy of an easy life. One without challenges, without stress, without setbacks. They think, if I just earn enough money, then life will be smooth. If I just get the right job, then things will be easy. If I just find the right partner, then struggle will disappear. But life doesn't work that way. Struggle is baked into existence. Remove one set of challenges, and new ones appear. The problem isn't struggle itself. The problem is the way you see it. If you believe struggle means something is wrong, you'll resent it. But if you believe struggle is evidence that you're growing, you'll welcome it. 2. Reframing struggle as growth. Think about your muscles. They only grow when they face resistance. Lift nothing, and they weaken. Lift weight, and they grow stronger. The same is true for your character, your discipline, your resilience. Without resistance, they stay soft. With resistance, they sharpen. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, how is this shaping me? Instead of wishing your struggles away, see them as the very conditions required for your growth. Action step. Write down 3 struggles you're facing right now. Next to each one, write how it could make you stronger, smarter, or more prepared for the future. The choice, victim or warrior. When struggle hits, you face a choice. Become a victim or become a warrior. The warrior seeks growth. Identity plays a role here too. If you see yourself as fragile, struggle confirms it. If you see yourself as powerful, struggle confirms that too. Which story you live depends on which identity you choose. Obstacles as energy sources. Here's the paradox. The very things that feel like they're slowing you down can actually become the energy that propels you forward. Think of it like friction. Friction is resistance. But without it, you couldn't walk, run, or drive a car. In the same way, life's friction, challenges, delays, failures, gives you the pushback that builds strength and determination. The obstacle is the way. Each time you face resistance, it's an opportunity to extract energy. That setback teaches patience. That failure sharpens strategy. That rejection fuels hunger. Instead of avoiding struggle, mine it for fuel. Here's the growth equation. Struggle, positive response, strength. If you respond with avoidance, bitterness, or blame, struggle breaks you down. If you respond with curiosity, effort, and resilience, struggle builds you up. It's not about whether you face obstacles, it's about how you face them. 6. Building the struggle mindset. To turn struggle into fuel, you need a new mindset. Here are 3 mental shifts. From pain to feedback. Instead of seeing pain as punishment, see it as feedback. It tells you where you need to grow. From delay to preparation. A delay is not denial. It's time to prepare for bigger opportunities. From struggle to story. Struggles make your story inspiring. Without them, there's no try. Action step. Take a struggle you've faced in the past. Write the story of how it shaped you. Then use that story as proof that today's obstacles will also serve you. Each rejection refined her resilience and strengthened her determination. Oprah Winfrey grew up in poverty, faced abuse, and was told she wasn't fit for television. Today she is one of the most influential women in the world. Each of them turned obstacles into fuel. They didn't avoid the struggle, they embraced it. The daily practice of embracing struggle. You don't need a massive life crisis to practice this mindset. Start with daily inconveniences. The traffic jam, the rude comment, the unexpected delay. Instead of letting them frustrate you, practice saying, "This is training." Small daily struggles prepare you for bigger battles. Fasting for a few hours to build discipline. Choosing the harder workout instead of the easy one. Practicing a skill that frustrates you instead of only doing what you're already good at. These small challenges strengthen your identity as someone who thrives in discomfort. Then, when bigger struggles come, you're ready. 10. The role of faith in struggle. Belief in yourself is essential, but sometimes it's not enough. Sometimes you also need faith in something bigger. Faith in the process. Faith that everything has purpose. Faith that the storm is shaping you for something greater. This doesn't have to be religious. It's about trust. Trust that struggle is not wasted. Trust that difficulty is the raw material of growth. Trust that even when you don't see the benefit now, it's there. Write down the negative story you're tempted to believe about it. Now, reframe it. This struggle is giving me, it's training me to become, it's preparing me. Over time, your brain learns to automatically turn struggle into strength. 12. Closing of Chapter 3. Here's the truth. The most powerful people you admire were not shaped in comfort. They were forged in struggle. Diamonds are made under pressure. Steel is tempered in fire. Muscles are built with resistance. And your character, your perseverance, your strength, your belief is forged through the struggles you face. So stop fearing obstacles. Stop resenting the hard moment. Instead, embrace them as the very process that will sculpt you into who you are meant to be. Every obstacle is fuel. Every struggle is training. Every setback is shaping your story. The next time you face a challenge, don't say, "Why me?" Instead say, "Try me," because you know that struggle isn't here to stop you. It's here to grow you. And once you believe that, obstacles stop being the enemy. They become your greatest ally. Chapter 4. Self-control and delayed gratification. The foundations of mastery. If belief is the engine that drives achievement, then self-control is the steering wheel that keeps you on course. You can dream big, set bold goals, and fuel yourself with passion. But without self-control, you'll crash into distractions, impulses, and temptations that pull you away from your path. The truth is this: Success is less about what you do once and more about what you resist daily. It's less about raw talent and more about the discipline to delay gratification, to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term greatness. This chapter is about building that iron discipline, training your ability to choose what matters most over what feels good right now, and learning how delayed gratification becomes the master key to lifelong achievement. Why self-control matters. Think of the greatest achievers in history: athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, leaders. They all share one trait: the ability to control themselves. Athletes train when others rest. Writers push through creative blocks when others quit. Entrepreneurs reinvest profits while others splurge. Leaders keep their emotions in check when pressure rises. Self-control isn't about repression, it's about direction. It's about taking your energy, your impulses and your desires, and channeling them toward your vision. Without it, your goals remain wishes. With it, your goals become inevitable. 2. The trap of instant gratification. Instant likes, comments and dopamine hits. Fast food that takes minutes but costs your health for years. Your brain, wired for survival, naturally craves immediate rewards. But here's the catch. What's easy now makes life harder later. What's hard now makes life easier later. Instant gratification robs you of your future. It convinces you to trade tomorrow's greatness for today's comfort. Children were given a marshmallow and told they could eat it immediately, or wait and receive 2 marshmallows later. Years later, researchers found those who waited had higher levels of success in education, health and career. The principle is simple. Those who master delayed gratification master life. Study now, succeed later. Save now, enjoy wealth later. Train now, thrive later. Control impulses now, gain freedom later. Every moment you choose discipline over distraction, you're compounding your future rewards. 4. Self-control is a muscle. Many people think self-control is something you either have or don't, but research shows it's like a muscle. You can train it, use it regularly, and it strengthens. Neglect it, and it weakens. Overuse it without rest, and it fatigues. This means you can build incredible levels of self-control through daily practice, just as you would build physical strength at the gym. Action step. Pick one small habit, like not checking your phone during meals or drinking only water with dinner. Practice it daily. Over time, you'll notice your ability to resist bigger temptations grows. The discipline loop. Here's how delayed gratification works in practice. Temptation arises. The impulse for comfort, distraction or indulgence. Pause and recognize. Instead of reacting automatically, you become aware. Ask, does this serve my future? Align the choice with your bigger vision. Choose discipline. Sacrifice the now for what matters later. Reap the reward. Every act of discipline reinforces your identity as someone in control. This loop, repeated daily, builds unstoppable momentum. Emotional self-control. Self-control isn't just about resisting external temptations like food or distractions. It's also about mastering your emotions. When doubt surfaces, can you quiet it with belief? True mastery is emotional stability, the ability to act based on values, not moods. Action step. Next time you feel triggered, pause, breathe, count to 10, then respond. Not from impulse but from intention. Building the habit of patience. Patience is the twin brother of self-control. Without patience, discipline collapses. Impatience is the voice that says, it's taking too long, this isn't working, I deserve a break. But patience reminds you, growth takes time. Seeds don't sprout overnight. Muscles don't grow in one workout. Dreams don't manifest after one effort. To strengthen patience, break big goals into small daily steps. Focus on progress, not perfection. Celebrate effort, not just results. Act systems over willpower. Here's a key truth. You don't win self-control battles by willpower alone. Willpower is limited. It runs out. Instead, create systems that make discipline automatic. Examples. Remove junk food from your house instead of relying on resisting cravings. Use website blockers to avoid endless scrolling. Automate savings, so money goes into investments before you can spend it. Set fixed routines that eliminate decision fatigue. The strongest people don't fight temptation every time. It simply doesn't exist in their environment. Instead of craving the rush of sugar or dopamine hits from likes, you begin to crave the satisfaction of discipline, progress, and consistency. Each time you resist a temptation and choose discipline, reward yourself, not with indulgence, but with acknowledgement. Smile, celebrate, or write it down. Over time, your brain starts linking joy to self-control itself. Self-control in real life. Warren Buffett built one of the greatest fortunes in history by practicing delayed gratification, investing steadily for decades instead of chasing quick wins. Serena Williams practiced countless hours day after day, delaying comfort for mastery. Steve Jobs said no to hundreds of ideas so he could focus only on the few that mattered most. Their greatness wasn't random. It was the product of disciplined choices repeated over time. Self-control is the skill that ensures you don't burn out chasing shortcuts. When you think long-term, every small act of discipline feels different. Skipping dessert isn't deprivation. It's investing in health. Studying an extra hour isn't suffering. It's building your future. Saying no to a distraction isn't missing out. It's protecting your dream. Every sacrifice now compounds into power later. Track small wins. Write down every act of discipline daily. Watch your identity grow. Voluntary discomfort. Practice saying no to small comforts, like cold showers or fasting, to train resilience. The future self-test. Before acting, ask, will my future self thank me or resent me? 13. Closing of Chapter 4. At its core, self-control is freedom. Freedom from impulses, freedom from regret, freedom from being a prisoner of your own desire. And delayed gratification is the secret weapon of all lasting success. Every time you resist the easy path and choose the meaningful one, you're casting a vote for your future greatness. Remember this truth: discipline weighs ounces, regret weighs tons. Choose discipline, choose patience, choose the long game, because the life you dream of, the success, the peace, the mastery, it's all on the other side of self-control. Chapter 5. Resilience. Staying calm under pressure. When the storms of life come, and they always do, your true strength is revealed not in how loud you shout or how hard you fight, but in how calm you remain. Resilience is not about avoiding difficulty, but about facing it with a steady mind, unshaken by chaos. Success, peace, and personal growth don't belong to the person who never encounters pressure. They belong to the one who can stand tall in the storm, remain focused under fire, and rise after every fall. Resilience is not toughness for a moment, it is endurance for a lifetime. And the foundation of resilience is calmness under pressure. Why resilience is the core of belief. Believing in yourself is easy when life flows smoothly, when plans succeed, opportunities open, and people cheer you on. But what about when your business fails? Your closest friends doubt you. The plan falls apart, the weight feels unbearable. This is when belief is tested. Resilience is the bridge between the moment you fall and the moment you rise again. Without it, belief collapses under pressure. With it, belief strengthens and becomes unshakable. Calmness is power. Imagine two soldiers in battle. One panics, fires blindly, and wastes energy. The other breathes steadily, calculates and acts with precision. Who survives? Who wins? Calmness is not weakness. It's control under chaos. It's the ability to think clearly, make wise choices, and keep moving forward when everyone else else's or falls apart. The resilient person is not the one who never feels pressure. They are the one who feels it fully yet refuses to be consumed by it. The myth of perfect conditions. Many people wait for life to be calm before taking action. They say, I'll start when things settle down. But life rarely settles. Pressure is not an obstacle to growth. It is the environment of growth. Just as muscles only grow when stressed, your inner strength only grows under pressure. Instead of fearing pressure, learn to welcome it. Every wave of pressure is a chance to train resilience. Fear, doubt, and frustration hit like arrows. Without protection, they pierce deeply. Resilience begins by building an emotional shield. Ask, how is this building me? Anchor your breath. Slow, steady breathing signals your body that you are safe, even under stress. Your emotional shield gives you the space to respond wisely instead of reacting impulsively. Stories of resilience under pressure. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison, yet emerged calm, centered, and ready to lead a nation instead of being consumed by anger. Thomas Edison failed thousands of times before creating the light bulb, famously saying, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Serena Williams has played finals under the eyes of millions, with the weight of expectation crushing down, yet she breathes, focuses, and turns pressure into performance. What they mastered was not escaping pressure, but mastering calm inside it. Breathe deep. Slow breaths reset your nervous system. Assess. Ask, what's in my control right now? Act. Take one small, steady step forward. Reflect. After the storm passes, ask, what did I learn? How am I strong? This Reframe transforms pressure into growth. The 7. Building mental grit. Resilience is not built in the big crises, it's built in the small daily tests. When the alarm rings early, do you snooze or rise? When a task feels boring, do you quit or finish it? When emotions flare, do you explode or breathe? Every small choice strengthens or weakens your resilience. By choosing discipline daily, you create the grit to stay calm in life's big battles. Each moment of difficulty carries a lesson. Pressure teaches patience. Pressure reveals weakness, so it can be strengthened. Pressure strips away illusions and shows what truly matters. Pressure tests whether your belief is rooted in hype or in true conviction. Instead of asking, how do I escape this pressure? Ask, what is this pressure teaching me? If you see yourself as resilient, every challenge will shape you. Start declaring, I am unshakable. I bend, but I don't break. I rise, no matter how many times I fall. Identity creates action. Action creates resilience. Resilience reinforces identity. This cycle makes you unstoppable. 10 practical tools to train calm under pressure. Controlled exposure. Put yourself in mild stress situations intentionally. Speak in public. Take cold showers. Practice fasting. Controlled discomfort builds inner strength. Visualization. Picture yourself staying calm in a high-pressure situation. Train your brain before reality arrives. Anchor phrases. Repeat grounding statements like, I am calm, I am in control, this too shall pass. Journaling pressure. Write about the stressful event afterward. This gives clarity and turns chaos into lessons. Daily recovery. Resilience also requires rest, sleep, reflection, and recharging fuel long-term strength. The long game of resilience. Resilience is not just about surviving today, it's about enduring tomorrow. The strongest people think long-term. They know setbacks are temporary, storms eventually pass, and pressure is not permanent. By adopting a long-game mindset, you stop magnifying the moment and start seeing it as part of a larger journey. It is the inner strength that whispers, this moment cannot break me. I will endure. I will rise. I will transform. When you believe in yourself, resilience becomes your shield. When you stay calm under pressure, resilience becomes your weapon. And when you master both, nothing, no failure, no setback, no storm can stop your journey toward greatness. Remember, the calmest warrior is the strongest warrior. Chapter 6. Self-control and delayed gratification. Tools of true mastery. If resilience is the ability to stay calm under pressure, then self-control is the ability to direct your power with precision. New self-control energy scatters. With it, energy compounds, and when you pair self-control with the art of delayed gratification, you unlock one of the rarest human advantages, the ability to trade short-term comfort for long-term greatness. Most people are prisoners of impulse. They chase quick pleasures, surrender to distraction, and waste their strength on immediate desires. But the masters of transformation, those who believe in themselves and achieve the impossible, train their minds to say no to the moment in order to say yes to their destiny. The foundation of self-control. At its core, self-control is not about denying yourself life's joys. It is about choosing with clarity. It means you are no longer a puppet pulled by emotions, cravings, or the environment. Instead, you are the master of your own decisions. Think about this truth. The difference between who you are now and who you could become lies in the hundreds of small daily choices you make. Do you choose discipline or distraction? Growth or comfort? The temporary or the lasting? Self-control is the skill that allows you to consistently choose the path that serves your future self over the one that only pleases your present self. 2. The science of delayed gratification. You may have heard of the Stanford marshmallow experiment. In the 1970s, children were given one marshmallow and told they could eat it immediately or wait 15 minutes and get 2 marshmallows. Decades later, researchers found that the children who waited had better life outcomes, higher test scores, healthier relationships, and greater career success. Why? Because the ability to delay gratification, choosing future reward over instant pleasure, predicts lifelong achievement. The marshmallow wasn't about candy. It was about character. The same principle applies to you today. Every time you resist an impulse and choose the long-term gain, you're building the mental muscle of mastery. Why most people fail without self-control. They start strong but give up when the excitement fades. They spend energy on temporary pleasure but starve their long-term dreams. They chase validation instead of focusing on growth. They let emotions dictate choices instead of aligning choices with principles. Self-control as a muscle. Think of self-control like a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. But if you never train it, it weakens. Here's the good news. You don't need giant battles to strengthen your discipline. Small daily victories accumulate. Each time you say no to procrastination, each time you finish what you promised yourself, each time you delay gratification, you're training that muscle. Eventually, self-control becomes automatic. It shifts from being a struggle to being your natural state of being. The power of small wins. People often imagine self-control as resisting massive temptations, but in truth, it begins with small, simple wins. It's choosing water instead of soda, finishing the chapter instead of scrolling social media, saving $20 instead of spending it on impulse, going to bed at a consistent time instead of staying up aimlessly. Each choice feels small, but together they create momentum. Over time, these victories compound into unshakable discipline, emotional regulation, and self-control. Self-control is not only about resisting external temptation, it's also about managing your inner world. When anger flares, can you remain calm? When sadness hits, can you still move forward? When fear rises, can you act anyway? To strengthen emotional self-control, pause before reacting. A pause is powerful. Breathe deeply. Breathing resets your body's stress response. Reframe emotions. Instead of "I can't handle this," say, "This is a chance to grow my strength." This is how you stay steady when emotions try to hijack your actions. If you don't guard your mind, impulses will guide your life, and impulses rarely lead to mastery. The strategy is not to eliminate every impulse, but to train yourself to recognize the gap between urge and action. In that gap lies power. In that gap, you decide if this choice moves you closer to your long-term vision or steals from it. When you want to check your phone, wait 2 minutes before doing it. Train patience. Cold showers. Choosing discomfort builds mental toughness. Time-blocked work. Focus deeply for 45 minutes before rewarding yourself with a break. Fasting. Practice delaying food gratification to prove to yourself that hunger is not the master of your mind. Financial discipline. Save before you spend. Invest before you indulge. These daily practices rewire your brain to see waiting not as suffering, but as strategy. The long-term advantage. Here is the truth. Most people will not wait. They want it now. They need comfort today. They crave results immediately. This impatience guarantees mediocrity, because greatness requires time. Muscles don't grow overnight. Businesses don't succeed in a week. Wisdom doesn't form in a day. If you can master delayed gratification, you immediately rise above the majority. You will endure the hard seasons while others quit. You will stay steady when others demand shortcuts, and you will harvest rewards while others settle for scraps. Linking self-control to identity. Identity is everything. If you see yourself as someone weak-willed, every challenge will confirm it. If you see yourself as someone disciplined, every challenge becomes a chance to prove it. Start telling yourself, I am disciplined, I master my impulses. Resisting the culture of now. We live in a world addicted to now. Quick likes, fast money schemes, instant results. Everything is built to erode your patience. But mastery belongs to those who swim against this stream. The ones who hold vision while others chase validation. The ones who build slowly while others chase shortcuts. The ones who invest in discipline while others drown in distraction. Resist the culture of now, and you will position yourself in the rare group of people capable of true transformation. Self-control in relationships, work and growth. Self-control is not only personal, it impacts every area of your life. In relationships, it helps you pause before saying words you'll regret. At work, it keeps you consistent, focused, and reliable. In growth, it ensures you do what you said you would do, even when no one is watching. Self-control protects your reputation, strengthens trust, and keeps your life aligned with your higher vision. Closing of Chapter 6. Self-control and delayed gratification are not punishments. They are gifts. They are the tools that separate the distracted from the determined, the average from the exceptional, the short-lived from the timeless. When you master them, you no longer live as a slave to impulse. You become the architect of your destiny. You rise above the noise of now and focus on the power of later. Remember this. Temporary pleasure fades, but mastery lasts forever. The world belongs to those who control themselves, who wait with purpose, and who endure the discomfort of today for the greatness of tomorrow. Be one of them. Chapter 7. Overcoming fear and self-doubt through thought control. Fear and self-doubt are the invisible chains that keep millions from realizing their true potential. They are not external enemies, but internal ones, born in the mind, magnified by thoughts, and reinforced by habits of focus. Left unchecked, fear will dictate your choices, and self-doubt will suffocate your courage. But here's the truth. Both fear and self-doubt are illusions. They live in your thoughts, not in reality. And because they live in your thoughts, you have the power to dismantle them through thought control. Mastering your mind is not a luxury. It is a necessity if you want to rebuild yourself and achieve mastery. This chapter will show you how to recognize the lies fear tells, how to break the cycle of self-doubt, and how to build a new mental environment where courage and confidence thrive. 1. The nature of fear and self-doubt. Fear is the brain's way of protecting you. It whispers, don't risk it, don't try, stay safe. But in modern life, most fears are not life or death. They are fears of rejection, failure, embarrassment, or change. Self-doubt is fear's companion. It's the voice that says, you're not good enough. Who are you to try this? What if you fail? Together, fear and self-doubt form a prison of hesitation. Yet the key is simple. These voices only have power if you believe them. If you learn to observe them, challenge them, and redirect them, their grip weakens. Thought control. The master key. Your thoughts are not commands. They are suggestions. You can accept them or reject them. Thought control means choosing which thoughts deserve your focus and which ones must be dismissed. Here's a life-changing realization. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. When fear arises, you don't have to obey. When self-doubt appears, you don't have to agree. Instead, you pause, you evaluate, and you choose a higher response. The 3-layer strategy to master thought control. To overcome fear and self-doubt, you need a structured approach. Thought control works best when you apply it in 3 layers. Interruption. Stop the thought from spiraling. Example. Snap your fingers. Stand up or say stop. Replacement. Introduce a stronger, empowering thought. Example. Even if I fail, I'll learn and grow stronger. Awareness stops the unconscious cycle. Interruption breaks momentum. Replacement rewires your brain for courage. But notice this. The what if is always about a future that hasn't happened. Fear lives in imagination, not reality. To dismantle it, ask yourself, what if I succeed? What if this works out better than I imagined? What if this is exactly what I need to grow? By flipping the what if, you transform fear into fuel. 5. The truth about failure. Self-doubt often comes from the fear of failure. But here's the reality. Failure is feedback, not finality. It is a stepping stone, not a dead end. Every master you admire, entrepreneurs, athletes, leaders, faced failure countless times. What made them succeed wasn't avoiding failure, but reframing it. Instead of "I'm not good enough," think "I'm improving." Instead of "this is the end," think "this is a beginning." Failure doesn't define you. Your response does. 6. Self-doubt and identity. Self-doubt grows strongest when your identity is unclear. If you see yourself as someone fragile, every obstacle proves it. If you see yourself as someone resilient, every obstacle becomes a test of strength. That's why identity work is critical. Say to yourself daily, "I am capable, I can figure things, I am the kind of person who faces fear and grows stronger." When self-belief becomes part of your identity, self-doubt loses its grip. Instead of letting fear run mental movies of disaster, consciously run movies of success. Picture yourself speaking with confidence. Imagine yourself staying calm under pressure. Visualize taking action despite fear and winning. Your brain doesn't fully distinguish between imagined practice and real practice. The more you rehearse courage in your mind, the more natural it becomes in reality. Fear hates movement. Self-doubt shrinks in the face of progress. Every time you take a step forward, no matter how small, you weaken the voice of fear. Each action sends proof to your brain. "I can do this. I am capable." Action doesn't erase fear, it makes fear irrelevant. 9. Tools to strengthen thought control daily. Here are practical techniques you can use. The thought journal. Write down fear-based thoughts and challenge them on paper. The stop command. When self-doubt arises, say "stop" out loud to break the pattern. Reframing practice. Each time a negative thought appears, replace it with an empowering one. Morning affirmations. Start each day declaring your identity with strength. Exposure. Do small things that scare you, proving that fear loses power when faced. These practices turn thought control from theory into daily reality. 10. Courage is not the absence of fear. Many people believe courage means not feeling fear. That is false. Courage means acting despite fear. Fear may still whisper, but it doesn't drive the car you do. Thought control allows you to hear fear without obeying it. Over time, fear becomes background noise and courage becomes your default. Self-doubt often shows up when you're expanding beyond your comfort zone. That means you're growing. So next time self-doubt appears, reframe it. "This means I'm on the right path. If I didn't doubt myself, I wouldn't be stretching." In this way, self-doubt transforms from an obstacle into proof of progress. Read stories of resilience and victory. Feed your mind with empowering input, not fear-driven noise. Practice gratitude to shift focus from what could go wrong to what is already strong. A strong mental environment makes thought control easier, because your inputs shape your output. 13. Closing of Chapter 7. Fear and self-doubt will never fully disappear. They are part of being human, but they don't have to control you. With thought control, you can rise above them. You can see them for what they are, just thoughts, not reality. Master this, and your life transforms. You will act with courage, build with confidence, and walk with a steady calm. Fear becomes fuel, self-doubt becomes a signal of growth, and your thoughts become your greatest allies on the path to mastery. Remember this: you don't need to eliminate fear. You only need to stop letting it decide for you. Take back control of your thoughts, and you will take back control of your destiny. Chapter 8. Building unshakable confidence through aligned actions. Confidence. Everyone wants it, few truly understand it, and even fewer build it to the point where it becomes unshakable. For most people, confidence seems like a mysterious trait, something you're either born with or forever chasing. But in reality, confidence is not a gift. It is a construction. It is the natural byproduct of taking aligned actions, steps that are consistent with your values, goals, and identity. The fragile kind of confidence, the one that wavers under criticism or collapses under failure, is built on external validation. It depends on applause, approval, or perfect outcomes. Unshakable confidence, on the other hand, is different. It doesn't waver because it doesn't depend on anyone else. It is built internally, piece by piece, every time you act in alignment with who you say you are. This chapter is about teaching you how to stop waiting for confidence and instead build it deliberately. It will show you how aligned actions create a cycle of power, how to dismantle the habits that erode your confidence, and how to cultivate a foundation so strong that no rejection, no failure, and no setback can shatter it. The truth about confidence. Most people misunderstand confidence. They think it's something you gain after success. Once I win, I'll feel confident. Once people approve, I'll feel secure. But that's backward. Confidence is not the result of success. It is the cause of success. You don't act because you feel confident. You feel confident because you act. Action comes first. Confidence follows. The truth is, confidence is not built on wishing or thinking, it's built on evidence. Every time you take action, you provide your brain with proof. I did it. I am capable. I can handle this. Over time, those actions stack into a fortress of self-belief. 2. Aligned actions. The secret ingredient. Not all actions build confidence. Only aligned actions do. These are actions that reflect your true values, your real goals, and your identity. When you say you value health and you exercise, confidence grows. When you say you want discipline and you follow through, confidence grows. When you promise yourself something and keep that promise, confidence grows. But when your actions and words are out of alignment, confidence erodes. Every broken promise to yourself weakens your self-trust. Every time you avoid what matters, you silently tell yourself, I can't rely on me. This is why aligned actions are the key. They transform confidence from a fragile mask into an unshakable foundation. Consistency. You follow through. Again and again. Evidence. Your brain sees proof that you are capable. Confidence. You feel stronger, and the cycle continues. Confidence is never a one-time event. It is a loop you must keep alive. When you act in alignment consistently, your confidence becomes immune to temporary failures because the weight of your proof overwhelms any single mistake. Destroying the enemies of confidence. To build unshakable confidence, you must also confront the habits that erode it. Comparison. Measuring yourself against others robs you of focus. True confidence is built by comparing yourself only to who you were yesterday. Perfectionism. Waiting for the perfect moment or flawless execution stalls progress. Confidence grows from progress, not perfection. People-pleasing. Chasing validation teaches your brain to depend on others for confidence. Instead, train it to depend on aligned action. Self-betrayal. Breaking promises to yourself is the fastest way to destroy confidence. Guard your word to yourself as sacred. Eliminate these and your confidence will stop leaking away. It is built from micro-actions repeated daily. Waking up at the time you said you would. Finishing the task you wanted to avoid. Saying no when you mean no. Speaking up in a small meeting. Pushing one extra rep in the gym. These micro-actions accumulate. Each one whispers to your subconscious, I follow through. I can trust myself. Over time, those whispers become a roar of confidence. The more you live in integrity, the more unshakable your confidence becomes. Ask yourself, do my daily habits reflect my stated goals? Do I act in private the same way I want to be seen in public? Do I keep the promises I make to myself even when nobody is watching? When your answer is yes, confidence doesn't need to be forced. It flows naturally because you live in truth. The secret to unshakable confidence is acting in alignment even while afraid. Every time you act despite fear, your brain learns, I am stronger than my emotions. I control my choices. That realization is the bedrock of confidence. You don't need to eliminate fear to be confident. You just need to align your actions with your values regardless of fear. That's how confidence becomes unshakable. If your actions show hesitation and avoidance, your brain concludes, I am someone who avoids challenges. But if your actions show courage and consistency, your brain rewires itself. I am someone who rises to challenge it. Here's how to rewire. Daily wins. At the end of each day, write down 3 actions you took in alignment with your values. Identity affirmations. Repeat, I am the kind of person who follows through. Small challenges. Intentionally step into small discomforts. Speak up. Try something new, face rejection. Each one rewires your self-image. The more data your brain collects, the stronger your unshakable confidence becomes. The inner voice of confidence. Self-doubt speaks loudly When you don't control your inner voice, aligned action silences it. Start speaking to yourself like you would to someone you're coaching. It's okay to feel fear, but it's not okay to let it control you. The compound effect of confidence. Unshakable confidence has a compounding effect. It doesn't just help you in one area. It spills into all areas of life. When you trust yourself in fitness, you also trust yourself in business. When you face fear in social situations, you carry courage into personal growth. When you consistently act in alignment at work, you feel confident in your relationships. Confidence multiplies. It compounds over time until you look back and realize you've become unstoppable. Building a confidence ritual. To lock in unshakable confidence, create a daily ritual. Morning alignment. State who you are and one action you will take to prove it. Midday check-in. Ask yourself, am I in alignment? Adjust if need. Evening reflection. Record wins, no matter how small. This ritual keeps the cycle of confidence alive and makes it impossible for doubt to take root. A construction built on aligned actions, repeated consistently, no matter how small. Every day you are casting votes for the person you believe yourself to be. When those votes align with your values, your confidence becomes undeniable. You no longer need approval, because your actions prove who you are. You no longer fear failure, because every action provides feedback and growth. Confidence built on aligned action cannot be shaken, because it does not depend on outcomes. It depends on integrity, and integrity is always within your control. So let today be the turning point. Don't wait for confidence to arrive before you act. Act in alignment, and let confidence follow. Stack enough aligned actions, and soon you will walk through life with a calm, unshakable power. Remember this truth. Confidence isn't found. It's built brick by brick, through aligned action, and once you build it, nobody can take it from you. Chapter 9. Creating unstoppable momentum through consistency and inner discipline. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in human growth. It is the invisible current that carries you forward, making hard things feel, and small wins compound into unstoppable success. When momentum is on your side, progress accelerates. When it's lost, everything feels heavy, every step feels forced, and discipline becomes a daily uphill battle. The truth is this: greatness is not built on occasional bursts of energy, but on consistent actions sustained by inner discipline. Anyone can show up once. Anyone can feel motivated on a good day. But those who rise above average, the ones who transform their lives, are those who build momentum and never let it die. This chapter is about teaching you to harness the power of consistency and discipline, so you create momentum so strong it becomes nearly impossible to stop. It comes and goes, often depending on mood, environment, or inspiration. If you depend on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. Momentum, however, is different. Momentum doesn't depend on how you feel. Once built, it carries you forward even on bad days, like a train that starts slowly but eventually barrels down the tracks. With its unstoppable force, momentum makes it harder to stop than to keep going. This is why consistency is everything. The more consistent your actions, the more momentum you build. And once you reach that tipping point, you'll find yourself performing at levels that once felt impossible. Think about water dripping on a stone. One drop doesn't make a difference, but over time, the relentless consistency shapes even the hardest rock. Your actions work the same way. One workout, one study session, one act of courage may not seem like much, but stacked consistently, they change the shape of your life. The key to consistency is simplicity. Start with actions so small they're impossible to fail. Instead of aiming for 2 hours of work, start with 15 minutes. Instead of trying to meditate for 30 minutes, start with 2. Once consistency is established, momentum will naturally make larger actions easier. Without discipline, consistency breaks down. With discipline, consistency becomes automatic. Discipline is not punishment. It is freedom. When you master discipline, you free yourself from the control of moods, excuses, and distractions. You no longer wait for the perfect moment. You act. You no longer depend on external validation. You follow through because your word to yourself is non-negotiable. True discipline is an act of self-respect. It's saying, I value my future enough to sacrifice temporary comfort today. The momentum loop. Momentum is built in a loop. Similar to confidence. Action. You take a step, no matter how small. Evidence. That action provides proof of your ability. Energy. Evidence creates energy and motivation. Momentum. Energy makes the next step easier. Repeat. With each cycle, momentum compounds. The beauty of this loop is that you don't need massive wins to start. Even the smallest actions, reading one page, writing one sentence, showing up for 5 minutes, can spark the cycle. Once the loop begins, it's much harder to stop than to continue. One skip day becomes 2, and suddenly the momentum is gone. This doesn't mean you can never miss a day. Life happens, but the rule is simple. Never miss twice. If you miss a workout, the next day you must move your body. If you skip writing, the next day you must write, even if it's only one sentence. This rule keeps your momentum alive and prevents small setbacks from turning into total collapses. Willpower is limited. It fades with fatigue, stress, and decision overload. The solution is building systems that make consistency automatic. Environment design. Structure your space, so good habits are easy, bad ones are hard. Place a book by your bed. Keep your workout clothes ready. Remove distractions. Tracking progress. Use a simple tracker or journal. Seeing progress keeps momentum alive. Systems remove friction, making discipline easier and momentum sustainable. Every yes to distraction is a no to progress. Momentum doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing the right things consistently. Learn to eliminate what doesn't align with your goals. Protect your energy fiercely. Every time you say no to temptation or distraction, you strengthen your discipline muscle. But when compounded over time, they create unstoppable momentum. Think about compounding interest in finance. Small investments, repeated over time, grow into massive wealth. The same is true of habits. One push-up may seem meaningless, but 10 years of daily push-ups transform your body. One page of writing may feel trivial, but 5 years of daily writing creates books. Momentum doesn't demand massive leaps. It demands daily steps. The difference is, they know how to restart quickly. Here's how. Forgive quickly. Don't waste time on guilt. Accept the slip and move forward. Start small. Restart with the smallest version of the habit. One workout, one page, one call. Rebuild fast. Stack small wins daily until momentum returns. The emotional power of discipline. Discipline is often viewed as harsh or restrictive, but in reality, it is deeply empowering. Every time you follow through despite resistance, you create pride. Pride builds identity, and identity fuels momentum. When you view discipline as self-love instead of self-punishment, consistency becomes easier. You stop seeing it as deprivation and start seeing it as a gift to your future self. This is the formula. It is not glamorous, but it works. Momentum turns ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It transforms difficult tasks into effortless routines. It creates a flow where action feels natural, not forced. And once you reach this state, it's nearly impossible for setbacks, fear or doubt to derail you. The people who achieve mastery are not the ones who sprint the hardest for a week, but the ones who keep walking forward every single day. That is how you become unstoppable. Closing of Chapter 9. Momentum is not magic. It is math. It is the compound interest of consistency and discipline. Every small action builds on the last, creating a force that becomes impossible to stop. Remember this. Motivation may fail you, but momentum never will. Discipline may feel hard in the moment, but it creates freedom in the long run. Consistency may seem boring, but it is the foundation of greatness. When you commit to aligned actions every day, when you refuse to miss twice, when you design systems that keep you moving, you create unstoppable momentum. And with that momentum, there is no limit to what you can achieve. So the question is not, can I build momentum? The question is, will I keep showing up long enough to let it take over? The answer lies in your discipline, your consistency, your commitment to the path, because once you master these, You will not just make progress, you will become unstoppable. Chapter 10. Lifelong Mastery and Peace. Living the transformed life. Every chapter of this journey has prepared you for this moment. You've learned to quiet your mind, discipline your habits, overcome fear, and build momentum. But now, as we close, it's time to talk about the destination, not a final resting point, but a state of being. This chapter is about lifelong mastery and peace. Mastery is not about controlling the world around you, it's about mastering yourself. Peace is not the absence of challenges, it's the ability to remain steady, no matter what storms rise. When you combine mastery with peace, you unlock a way of living where nothing external can shake your inner foundation. You don't just survive life, you flow with it, you shape it, you lead it. What mastery really means. Many think of mastery as perfection, but that's an illusion. True mastery is the commitment to growth without end. It is the understanding that you will always be learning, refining and improving. Mastery means your identity is no longer tied to outcomes, but to the process. You don't chase results. You embody the principles that inevitably create results. You no longer ask, "Am I there yet?" You say, "This is who I am, and I will keep showing up." And mastery is not limited to one domain. Once you master yourself, you can apply it anywhere. Health, relationships, business, spirituality. The principles are universal because they all begin within. The path to lifelong mastery. Lifelong mastery is built on 3 pillars. Self-awareness, knowing your patterns, strengths, and blind spots. Without awareness, you cannot change. With awareness, you can evolve. Endless self-control, the discipline to act in alignment with your higher self, not your impulses. This ensures growth is not random, but intentional. Self-alignment, living in harmony with your values and purpose. When your actions align with your deepest truth, you stop fighting yourself. These 3 pillars create a feedback loop. Awareness reveals what needs growth. Control makes change possible. Alignment brings peace, and together they create mastery. But real peace is not withdrawal, it's unshakable presence. It is the ability to stand calm while others panic, to choose clarity when chaos surrounds you, to stay grounded while the world spins fast. Peace comes from detachment, not detachment from responsibility, but detachment from unnecessary attachment. You stop clinging to what you can't control, stop chasing approval, stop resisting the natural flow of life. Instead, you move with strength and calmness, knowing that storms pass but your foundation remains. 4. The dance between discipline and peace. At first, discipline and peace may seem opposed. Discipline demands effort, sacrifice, consistency. Peace seems effortless and still, but in reality they are partners. Discipline creates peace by removing regret, guilt, and chaos from your life. When you live with discipline, you can rest peacefully, knowing you honored your word. Peace strengthens discipline, because a calm mind makes better choices, free from impulse or fear. The dance between the two is what creates a life of harmony. Without discipline, peace becomes laziness. Without peace, discipline becomes rigid and joyless. Together they create balance. 5. The role of acceptance. A master does not fight reality, they accept it and act within it. Acceptance is not weakness, it is wisdom. When you accept what is, you stop wasting energy on denial or resistance, and instead direct your strength toward change and growth. Acceptance brings peace in adversity. It allows you to adapt quickly, to adjust your strategy without self-pity, to find lessons in every struggle. A master understands. Life will not always go my way, but I will always grow my way through life. Transcending the ego. Much of life's conflict comes from the ego, the part of us that craves recognition, control and superiority. Ego makes us reactive, defensive, and fearful of failure. But mastery requires transcending the ego. When you no longer need to prove yourself, you become free. When your actions are no longer driven by external validation, you find true joy in the process. When criticism no longer shakes you and praise no longer blinds you, peace becomes your natural state. Transcending ego doesn't mean you eliminate ambition. It means ambition no longer owns you. You pursue goals with clarity, but your worth is not tied to them. Lifelong learners know the truth. Every experience, every failure, every success is fuel for growth. Adopt the beginner's mindset. Stay curious. Ask questions. Seek mentors. Share knowledge. The master is both student and teacher. Always learning, always giving. This humility keeps you grounded and keeps your growth alive. Your transformation is not only for you, it ripples outward. Your discipline inspires. Your resilience strengthens others. Your peace calms those around you. This is how you leave a legacy, not just in achievements, but in the lives you touch and the example you set. When you live for something bigger than yourself, your life takes on meaning that transcends time. Mindfulness practice, meditation, breathing, or simply pausing to be present. These practices keep peace alive in your daily life. Disciplined routine. Keep non-negotiable habits for health, learning and growth. They ground you. Gratitude. Regularly recognize what you already have. Gratitude is one of the purest paths to peace. Service. Find ways to give. It reminds you life is not just about you. It's about contribution. These practices are not temporary. They are lifelong companions. The final transformation. It means you can face challenges with calm, knowing they are opportunities for growth. It means you live not in chaos but in peace, because your foundation is unshakable. Transformation is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming the truest version of yourself. It is about peeling away the layers of fear, distraction, and ego, and revealing the strength and peace that were always within you. You now hold the tools to rebuild yourself, to believe in yourself, to create unstoppable momentum, and to live with mastery and peace. From this point forward, your life is a practice. Every day is an opportunity. Every moment is a choice, and every choice is a chance to align with the best version of you. May you walk forward with discipline in your actions, confidence in your heart, and peace in your soul. May your transformation ripple outward to inspire others, and may you never forget, a mastered life is not lived in extremes, but in balance, consistency, and calm power. The journey is yours, the mastery is yours, the peace is yours. Now go live. If this audiobook gave you strength, clarity, or even just one powerful insight, then don't let it stop here. Hit that like button right now to show your support. Subscribe to ReadFlow Audiobooks for more life-changing content. And most importantly, share this audiobook with someone who needs to hear it today. Together we grow stronger, calmer, and unstoppable. Your transformation is just the beginning. Stay tuned, stay focused, and as always, keep believing in yourself. I'll see you in the next one.